Hope Channel, changing lives.
I am in the beautiful studios of Hope TV today and coming your way with your favorite show, Real Talk. You know, today's topic is a very interesting one. She says he called off the wedding because he says I am too clingy. Somebody would ask, what is being clingy? You know, when you depend on someone too much, when you're attached to somebody in their face, they can't seem to have their personal space. You're always with them, always talking to them, calling, texting. You don't seem to have some free time, or they don't seem to have some free time for themselves. So today's story, a young lady is asking if being too clingy is indeed a problem, because her fiancé has decided to call off their marriage because of this particular issue. I mean, someone will say, what is wrong if your girlfriend or your fiancé is constantly with you or wants to be with you all the time, loves being with you, being in your space, doing everything together? Someone would also say, you should have some time. I mean, get a life. Do something on your own. You don't have to be with the person 24/7. Today's story is quite indeed a very interesting one, as I said, and I am sure a lot of you would probably agree with the girl or agree with the guy, or maybe disagree with both of them. And that is why we are here to have a real conversation on the show Real Talk. I always tell you that these stories are brought to us by real life people such as yourself and myself. So if you're going through anything at all, whatever it may be something happening at work, it may be you trying to find a job, it may be you trying to navigate through this life that we are all trying to live, you can send your story to us. Just send your story to Real Talk Hope TV. It can be through our Instagram, our DM, Facebook, or even our WhatsApp number or email address. So do not hesitate. It could even be a topic. You don't need to write a full-blown story. You could send us the topic, and we will try and find you amazing panelists, knowledgeable panelists, people who do not mince their words, who say it's as it is because they are having a real conversation. So we can help some of you out there, and even ourselves. We try to learn, we try to educate, and we always try to give a solution to the problems that are presented to us in our studios. And today, hopefully, will be the same. I would like to remind you that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. So you can go on there, stream, join the conversation live, leave your comments under the comment sections. I mean, whether you agree or you disagree, call a friend to call a friend to call a friend, and join the conversation live. I will also make sure I read some of the comments you guys leave out there, because I'm sure they are always interesting. I have with me in the studio a very fine gentleman, and then I have people joining me virtually as well, as we've been doing on the show since, I think, this year, if I'm not mistaken. And so also I'd like to tell you that I am wearing a very beautiful skirt, and this fabric was given to me by ATL Akosombo Textiles Limited. They are all about bringing fabrics to life. So please, you can go to any of their shops, visit there, get a fabric you like, get a fabric that will look great on you. And the amazing thing is that they have fabrics in diverse colors. So you can choose your pick and you can give it to your designer to sew something beautiful for you. I just wish I could stand up for you guys to see my beautiful skirt, but you know, I'll try and put a picture of it on Instagram, so you guys will have a look at it and know that indeed it is a beautiful skirt, even though I say so myself. So joining me in the studio is Benjamin Asafo Ejay. He is in the studio with me virtually. I have Patience Ejay, who is not related to Benjamin in any way. I have Eric Kunedu and Joseph Cheme. These guys will be helping me to talk about the topic or story in front of us today, to help come up with some solutions, some tips to help this obviously very sad, very upset girl that sent us a story. Let me just go straight ahead and introduce my amazing panelists to you. Benjamin, good evening.
Good evening, Evie.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
How has your week been?
It's been good. Just the usual work
Right.
hustle, but
I know,
it's been
right?
good so far.
Accra day.
Accra day.
Up and down like that. The traffic alone.
You understand?
Yeah, I know.
You understand.
It's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad to be here too.
Great, great. So virtually, I have Mrs. Patience Ajay, who is joining me all the way in the States. Patience, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How are you doing?
I am doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Are you related to Benjamin in any way?
Oh, I have no idea who he is.
We will find out. Don't
Yes. You know, the funny thing is we always find out that someone is related to someone. Someone is always someone's cousin. So you never know. But how has your week been? You been all the way, the house, the family, everything.
Oh, everything is doing so well. So far, so good. The kids are fine. My husband is doing well. We are blessed.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you are ready for the discussion.
Very ready.
Okay, great. I see your baby girl trying to steal your shine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Your mother has sucked her. Okay, great, great. Okay, so Eric, can you hear me? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm here.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm doing all right.
Your week?
It has been okay.
I hope you're ready for the discussion.
Yeah,
Great.
I'm ready.
Great, great, great. Okay, so definitely the last but not least is Joseph Sherme. Good evening. Joseph, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if it is your mic again or you're muted. Can you hear me? Okay, I seem to have lost Joseph. I'll try and check in with him later as the discussion goes on. But before we delve into the discussion, I want you at home to just have a look at our story. Listen, understand, so you can share your comments with us. We'll be right back after that break. Do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk, and my name is Evie. Dear Real Talk, my fiancé just left me because he says I am too clingy. What does that even mean? What is wrong with loving him and wanting to spend most of my time with him? He said it is suffocating. He needs his own personal space. In my defense, I give him his own personal space. I only go and see him after work sometimes and go be at his place on weekends and go home late in the night. I enjoy spending time with him, and he said he also enjoys spending time together. So I don't know where this is coming from. Evie, he has gone ahead to cancel our wedding because of this. He claims I am all up in his face even though we are not married. So he can't imagine how annoying it will be living with me in the same house as his wife. I am shocked at this and his refusal to listen to counsel and advice from our parents. He has made up his mind and apparently nothing will change it. Do you believe this is even a good enough reason to call off our wedding? I'm beginning to think this is just an excuse to leave and be with someone else. Is it wrong to love someone so much to want to spend all your time with them? I am so hurt and don't know what to do. Please help me. Welcome back. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana on your favorite show, Real Talk. We just took a look at our story. I told you it was a good one. So this girl obviously says she loves her fiance, her man, and they're about to get married. She loves to spend time with him. She goes there after work sometimes. She spends most of her weekends there and goes home late in the night. And he also said he enjoyed their time together, but unfortunately, for some reason, he says, this is too much. You're always in my space. You're always in my face. I can't seem to have time for myself. And because of this, I am calling off our wedding. Parents have tried, her parents have tried, his parents have tried, but he seems to be he seems to have made up his mind and decided that no, this is not the woman I want to go in for. And the lady is like, but can you even just say you're canceling the wedding just because of the fact that I like spending time with you? Like, it doesn't even make sense to me right now. Or there could be a deeper reason why this guy wants to call off the wedding. Because if I love spending time with you and you're going to get married to me, I think that's even a great deal. But he says, we are not even married. And you don't even give me breathing space. Imagine us living together in the same house. I don't think I will have any space to myself. So this is obviously one that someone will say, is being too clingy a good enough reason to call off your wedding? Is there someone else? Is there another reason? Is this just an excuse the guy wants to find and leave the girl? Is the girl also just too in his space? And is it, when we talk about giving each other space, couple space, is it healthy to have personal times, to just have things you do on your own and come home to your wife or your husband, or spending time together as couples is a great thing? So these are some of the questions, and hopefully we'll get some answers for them and see what they can finally do at the end of this conversation. Okay, so Benjamin, what is your general take on the story?
Well, it's an interesting one, and looking at it generally, it's often quite difficult to judge it from the surface, because you would want to know to what extent the lady is getting into the space of the gentleman, and to what extent is the man also able to actually entertain. What is interesting for me is that seeing the behavior of the gentleman, if we are to preempt that just what the lady is telling us is a reality, where she's only going there once.
Is that after work she goes there,
she
then
passes
weekend?
Weekend she passes by and all that, then we are believing that the gentleman is rather being an extremist in this context, because you need to be emotionally matured to consider getting married. And because today our focus is just on what is emotionally happening, that's what we'll be looking at, to see that if he's not emotionally matured enough to manage a partner that he sees as a potential wife, then he's not really matured and ready for marriage. And for me, it's even good for the lady to know, because a gentleman you intend to call your husband who cannot entertain or condone whatever emotional attachment you've got with him certainly cannot lead you far. So my general take is that we would have to dive into how much the lady is really interfering into his personal space in order to know the reality and make a judgment. However, straight away from the gentleman, if it's exactly what the lady is saying, then I think he's not matured enough for marriage. It's better to call it off. I think it's good.
Okay, great. Patience. Aside your general take on the story, if you could share some advantages and disadvantages of couples getting their personal space. Because yes, it's great to be together, to have hobbies together, to enjoy each other's space. But for a healthy relationship, I believe having enough time on your own to just regroup and enjoy your space, somebody can say is good. So if you could just share some advantages or even disadvantages, if it's not good that they should have personal space, you can just let us know.
Oh Lord. Avi, the first thing I can say is personal space is same. First of all, before you get married, personal space is very needed. Some of the mistakes that ladies make is that while they are still in a relationship, they spend time with the guy day and night. They are cooking for them. They're cleaning for them. They are doing everything that married couple would do for the man. And then at the end of the day, you wonder why he's not getting married to you. He's already getting all the marriage benefits. Why would he marry you in the first place? And that is one of the mistakes a lot of ladies make. If you're treating him like your husband and you're doing everything for him like a married person would do, then he doesn't feel the need to get married. On the other hand, if you are married, then my next thing is personal space is same. Like once you get married and he's your husband, they say, the Bible says that, and the two shall become one. Now you become one. And if you're one,
there's no space.
Then personal space means the couple's personal space. The couple is personal.
Okay.
So, because the couple is one. So now if one, then the personal is the couple.
Right.
So, yes. So if the two of you have become one, then there is nothing for you to talk about personal space anymore, especially when the kids come in. When the kids come in, I mean, you can hardly even go to the bathroom alone. That's for me. They follow. You don't follow him to do errands here and there. So they do get time to be on their own. But before marriage, I say personal space is very necessary, because after all, you don't own him, he doesn't own you, you are in a dating aspect. But once you get married, you should really be happy with your partner, because at the end of the day, you can't say that for better or for worse if you really cannot stand each other, or till death do us apart. You say till death do us apart and you're looking for personal space, it doesn't work.
Right. So piggybacking on what Benjamin said about if we are going to go by what the woman said, going there after work, going the weekends, do you think that's too much space for her to have been spending with the guy?
I mean, if you're checking up on each other, I mean, it's important for you to know that this person is a good person for you. You need to know if they care. Now, here's the thing. You can care for one another. You can be there. Oh, hey, are you okay? How was work? Checking up on each other here and there. After work, you stop by to say, oh, I just closed from work. I'm heading home. I'm checking up on you. Everything good? Maybe you can share some meal together, have dinner together here and there. But I mean, kind of like all over. If whatever the lady is saying is right, I don't think that is it's extreme or it's too much.
Okay.
You know. From the ladies' aspect, I don't think in a relationship aspect it's too much. You check up on each other. You got to show that you care for the relationship in the first place.
Right. Thank you. I'm coming to you, Eric, and I'm going to ask, obviously, your general take on the story, and then also, is there anything as spending too much time together as people in a relationship leading to marriage, or even as married couples? As Patience said, personal space saying, like, she doesn't get that whole thing. But your opinion on that, please.
Okay, Evie, good evening.
Good evening.
Once again. And good evening to all the people watching us from home. When two people come together, who coming from different backgrounds, when they come together, there are some issues that happen. Obviously, there are going to be some amount of friction, and this is just one of them. Here we are talking about a guy who has tasted independence and, has loved his independence and would want to be independent all the time. He had built a wall around him, and he enjoys that much. And on the other side, we are talking about a lady who has, felt affection before. She has been loved. There are people all over around her, and she's enjoying that. In fact, she loves that. And these two people have come together. They are here in one space. So definitely, it's not going to be something simple. And yes, simple, sir. But definitely, they would have to find a way around it. There are healthy clinginess, and some are not healthy. We have the type where the person is so scared that she's going to be abandoned. In the case of the lady, probably that is how it is. She feels that her partner is going to leave. That emptiness, when the partner leaves, she's going to feel so empty. And so the only way she could respond to it psychologically is to cling on to the guy. And that kind of emptiness is a bit, unhealthy. because always you are going to be in the face of the guy. And if you read the letter, the lady's letter, she says somewhere that after work she goes there, to the weekend she's there. So from Monday or from Sunday to Saturday, she's there.
Okay.
She's in the guy. She's always there. So definitely, somehow, depending on where the guy is coming from, some guys would feel okay with this. It's okay. My girl is always, or my woman is always around me, and it's okay. But some, it will not be okay.
Right.
But the most important that they started with something. They already have something, a common place to build from. And that common place is love. They came together because they love themselves. So they should allow that love, they should bring in that love to settle that issue. They should one day and say that, okay, this is what we want to do. This is where we have gotten to. And this is what I don't like about this relationship. And so let's do it this way, so that they move forward. But calling off a work because your woman is clingy, nah, I won't go with it.
Okay.
And personal space is needed in every relationship.
Right.
Whether you are married or you are about to get, whichever relationship you are in, it is very vital because it brings a lot of newness. For instance, in this issue, they are not married yet, but the lady is there 7 days in a week. So she's always there, But sometimes when she doesn't go there, some weekends she can decide not to go there. And then maybe 2 days apart or 2 days, she spends 2 days from the guy. When she goes back, there is this kind of newness. But you are there in his face. If nobody, we don't have, when I'm going to the market, you are with me. When I'm going to, no, it's too much. So I think personal space, something that is very much needed in every relationship.
All right, thank you, Eric. Personal space is needed in the relationship. Joseph, please, what's your take on the story? Are you back though?
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Great. It's good to hear from you. What's your take on the story? And then just generally, this whole issue about personal space, the advantages and the disadvantages. Do you think, as described in the story, is too much for the guy and all of that is going on in the story?
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And then good evening to all your viewers. When I first saw the letter or the message, my reaction was like, oh my God. Just calling off a wedding because the person you are getting married to, you think is too clingy or something like that. I just can't understand that kind of statement. So I was asking myself, when the relationship started and he saw that and happening, that the lady is too clingy or something like that, has he talked to the lady about how he feels about being clingy, or about the lady always coming to him, testing him or whatever? Has he spoken to the lady about it? If he has spoken to the lady about it, what did the lady do? What was her reaction? If the lady was still like that, then he might have a certain course. But if he has not talked it over, and then all of a sudden you say that you are so much attached to me, and because of that I'm calling off the wedding, then as how the social media people will see it, the guy is not a husband material. That is if the lady's statement is actually correct, then he is not qualified to get married, or he's too young to get married. Having said that, when I received the message, I talked to about 10 people, those who are in relationship, whether married or about to get married, about 10 people. And then I asked them, what is your take if your partner says, I need some space in the relationship? About 8 of them actually said space is saying space our day. So some actually said that, okay, so my man is space, yeah, then the person is not coming back again. Only 2 people actually said that, okay, they needed space. So even though the sample is too small, if you are to take it like that, it is about 80 people wouldn't go for personal space or wouldn't agree that their partner should have their personal space. By then, every relationship, whether married or about to get married, should have some kind of boundaries, some kind of walls that all the partners agree to. Other than that, the marriage is not going to work. In fact, you all need personal space sometimes. Personal space to think over something. Maybe something that has happened at the workplace, something with the family, something with friends, something with hobby, etc. You all need that personal space sometimes in life. But as soon as you get married, even though we crave for some of these personal spaces in life, it shouldn't be something so much long, such that your partner will be so much away from you. That is not going to work. And it's not going to work, especially in the COVID time when there was lockdown. We were at home together. To think over something. It can also be some of the hobbies that you enjoy when you are alone. We can give those spaces so that people can enjoy their hobbies, such as maybe reading a novel or reading a Bible text or something, or sometimes even watching a favorite program. Those spaces are needed. And whether we like it or not, we should advocate that people should have some of those personal spaces. But to call off a wedding, saying that, oh, this person is so much attached to me, is uncalled for. And I think the lady is also doing that because of certain reasons. Maybe past relationship, maybe the person was asking for some space. When the person got that, the person used it for some kind of cheating, quote unquote. Because of that, she's afraid that, okay, if my new guy also gets that space, he's also going to cheat. So let me also be around. And you have a guy who also doesn't like that. So they should iron their differences. And I think they'll be good to go. Okay. That's my initial take.
Thank you so much for that, Joseph. But Benjamin, do you think this is
quite a little beyond what is written, and it will give us, because our viewers in the end would be educated, many of them may be in the situation in different degrees, so that we get to evaluate ourselves. If we are engaged in such a behavior that could be creating inconveniences for our partners, then we know how to backtrack in order to stabilize the relationship.
Right.
There is a lot of psychological underlying reasons for why people may be clingy. And in psychology, you would even find a certain phobia called thanatophobia. Now, it's a fear, it's an anxiety that people have when they feel that they may lose a loved one. And the same, as strong as it is also used for people who have fear of death. And that tells you how serious it can be. Right. And if you do not manage it well, people end up exhibiting symptoms of obsession. And this can lead to so many things that can be so uncomfortable. So much that people in their clinginess could not only be monitoring your social media platform, they'll be trying to sniff into your phone to see your messages, into your WhatsApp messages. And these things, when you see them, feel so uncomfortable. Right. Now, it often then appears that then there is either lack of trust, is either the one who is engaged in the clinginess has some self-insecurity. Either they have low self-esteem, a sense of insecurity, or perhaps you, the other partner, you are not giving the person enough confidence to believe that the relationship can stand the test of time. So if we broaden it, then whichever side of the coin you are, you get to see that if my partner is exhibiting this, could it be that I'm giving her reason to doubt me, and therefore there is a sense of insecurity created which I must work on for her to feel secured in order to tone down. In the other way, if you are the one exhibiting the behavior, it's up for you to see that, am I craving for too much attention? Sometimes we can all be practical to know that at the early stages of every relationship, everybody exhibits a degree of clinginess, because if there's a guy that has been chasing a girl for a very long time and he finally lands her, he wants to get all the attention, trying to cover, so he keeps the texting and chatting and calling and all that. And everybody exhibits it. So it's not as if there's a girl's thing or whatsoever. Guys do, girls will do once they are in love. But what we are looking here is that, how do you measure the degree of it so that it does not create inconvenience for the other party? And as has been mentioned by my co-panelist, it is always an issue of communication. It is for you to, so I have a personal experience where one of the things I do love most, which I can do outside work and other things, is to watch my soccer. And my partner had to understand that if you know Real Madrid is playing, everything must stop. And that is a personal space I so much crave, and you don't interrupt it. Unless it's a life and death matter, that cannot wait. You don't come and I'm watching an El Clasico and you want to bring up an issue to be discussed that, okay, about school fees. No way. So these are things that you must learn to understand your partner for, so that it is likely you would be on my nerves if you try to discuss an issue we could discuss in the next 3 hours, the very time I'm watching my Real Madrid match. No way. So these are things that can create, so if we are not married yet and the person is coming over the weekend, and while she comes over the weekend, you are watching that Manchester United, whatever, which is so dear to you, that's all that gives you fun. And the person is trying to say, oh, I have come, and you are not paying attention to me. And the person is nagging, then you like, hey. So that's what I'm saying, that in as much as she's just giving us, they said, okay, she goes there only over the weekend. When you go over the weekend, how much do you try to take away all the attention he's got for everything he's doing? If you go there in the evening, and perhaps he's trying to be on phone with a daddy to speak over something, it's as if once you arrive there, he needs to stop the call and attend to you. Those are the aspects of the clinginess that can be so irritating that the person may feel, hey, if this is how it's going to be, and it is at the basic stage, then once we marry and you feel you are in charge, you're supposed to be the master. It means that I cannot speak to my mom, I cannot speak to my dad, I cannot, if you're going to take the whole of me, then, so these are the broader discussions that would then lead us to understand that if I am trying to take every bit of attention of my partner, if I'm able to understand the things that he loves to do and enjoy to feel he's alive, and all that he has to think about is me, all he needs to talk about is my issue, then definitely he cannot be happy with me. So this would then widen the discussion for us to see whether, if she's going the obsessive way where he's sniffing into phones, trying to question things, then the man would then feel, no, I don't think this will be safe for me. I may end up committing myself into a suicidal relationship. So these are the things that would then shape our understanding of the decision being made. And for you, the lady, once he's trying, I'm wondering whether the man just got up one day and made a decision, I'm calling it off. There should be signs and things that he gets irritated at it. Try to talk about it. If you do not discuss and you try to find your own way of grabbing all the attention, and he is fighting his way to push away, then along the day, the bridge will break, and then there'll be nowhere to go.
Right. Thank you so much for that. We'd like to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at if there could be other reasons, as this girl said. And by her statements, I am thinking she's suspecting another woman, relationships. So when we come back, we'll look at that. And then finally, what they should do, or what she should do in this moment, since the guy seems to have made his mind up. When I come back, I'll take a look at some of the comments you guys have sent, read some of them, then we continue with the discussion. Do not go anywhere. This is Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Hope Channel presents an evening of gratitude and praise featuring Bezdak Praise. Special guest, Pastor Dr. Divine Aivo.
But my friends, when the storms come, don't dismay. There is a man who can rebuke it on your behalf. There is a man who can tell those storms, peace, be still, and the devil will leave you alone.
Date 26 June 2021, 4 p.m. live on Hope Channel.
Break. We are still in the studio discussing this very interesting story sent to us. If you just joined us, so this young lady sent her story. She's about to get married, and she says her fiancé has just called off the wedding because he says she's too clingy. And according to her, she only goes there after work and then weekends. Then she leaves late, and she likes spending time with him, and he says he does. So she doesn't understand why he is calling off the wedding because of this particular reason. She thinks there's a deeper reason because she doesn't think this should be a reason for you to call off the wedding. And so because of that, she's very upset and wanting help. She says parents have come in. Before you say, oh, talk to your mother and father, parents have come in, his parents have come in, he's made up his mind. He's saying, no, I don't want to be with her. She's always in my face. She doesn't give me personal space. I can't seem to do anything without her. She's virtually like a shadow. And so because of this, he doesn't want any shadow, only his shadow. So she should find a way and go and sit somewhere. So that's a discussion we've been having. I've had with me in the studio Benjamin, and joining me virtually I've had Patience, Eric and Joseph. And we've been having a great discussion so far. And I have seen that you people at home and online have also joined the conversation and leaving your live comments. So I'll take a few, then we can go right back into the discussion. So this one is from Ruth Jisa. She says, he's used your cutlass to cut an anchor, python. He is just trying hard to get a better excuse to break up with you. Allow him to go, else he won't make you happy, even if he marries you. Okay. Needy, powerful says, Evie, I'm telling you, the guy has another lady in his life. Tell the lady to move on. Okay. Michael Amwaku says, sad mom. People want the clingy type, but don't get it, whilst others have it, but don't cherish it. I think there's more to it than just being clingy. Maybe his love for you has faded. Okay, Rich Monyako says, very sad, but don't be with a man who hasn't paid your bride price yet. Never spend your time with him or giving him a chance to touch you. He got what he wanted from you already, and he's compared you to another woman, and he's seen that the other woman is better than you. My advice for you is please forget about him and move on. Hey, Rich, this is your assumption. We don't know if it's true, but thank you so much for your comment. Edusi Pokwa says, it's obvious this guy in question is into another woman and just using this as an excuse to end whatever you share together and go for the other woman. But in all, you need to give thanks to God for what's happening now, although it hurts, but you will understand this later. Be strong and live your life. God be with you, dear. Okay, Carrie a champion says, clingy means tending to stay very close for emotional support, protection, etc. When the safety, satisfaction, and development of someone means as much to you as your own, then you love the person. Since you're accepting you're clingy, how are you providing your love to him? In a long-term relationship, the partners must be able to remain individuals as well as partners. Attempting to crowd him out will raise his adrenaline and cause him to flee like he has done. Okay. Isaac Crusader said, sometimes life is very funny. The question is if he is using your assigned partner from God. The question is, if he is your assigned partner from God, what is clingy? We jump into relationships that is not supported by God, and if it collapses, we will be worrying him. Pray to God and believe in him for your soulmate, which is your rib, will be fixed in his allotted place. As an Adventist lady, you shouldn't think about the emotional aspect alone, but also think about how spiritual, you were lifted when both of you were together. Life must go on. Okay, that's very interesting. So I think someone has a question for him there. Let me see. I want to find a different. Okay, so 2 Nanaya or Sapon says, are you sure you didn't sleep with him while spending time with him? Because most of the time, if someone is preparing to do something durable and along the lines, it is offered to test. Maybe it doesn't meet his expectation, and your seriousness towards its fate, and apparently you lose interest and then possibly stop or cancel your preparation. Henceforth, the loss of God's law in the beginning is the beginning of nonsense.
That's
okay,
a lot.
that's a lot. Trying to process in my head for it to sound right. Anyway, okay, so I'll try and take today. The comments are really a lot. I'll try and take some before we end. But looking at the comments, people are saying that there's someone else. That is very interesting. Patience, is there someone else? Could there be another reason? Is this why the guy is doing this? Is there another woman?
That's an interesting one. At this point, we can only speculate.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't have any facts about it. But I can say that is really not a good reason to call off the wedding, especially when family is involved and saying, hey, what's going on? The parents said something. This guy's not willing to even take any advice or anything. He just want to go. At this point, I can say that there's more to it. It can't just be because it said she's too clingy. That's why leaving. Yeah, I can't believe it. I really cannot believe it because, like I said, if you guys cannot spend time together, how do you expect to spend the rest of your life together?
Right.
And I personally don't believe in how people try to separate married couples. I believe that it's a rib. If you look at the biblical aspect of marriage that God intended it to be, it's like you got your rib to be full. So the two of you are really full. I would rather say you spend time to enjoy each other's company. You have to be able to enjoy each other's company to be able to live for the rest of your life. Of course, you have your one-on-one moments, but if you cannot enjoy each other's company, like although you have your separate moment that you can be alone,
I want to show that the body goes down.
When you're together, you are supposed to enjoy each other's company. But if you cannot enjoy that and you think that is a problem, then there's something wrong with the couple. And if I were the lady, I'll be so thankful to let it go, because if you can't solve your differences now and to the extent that you're going to call off the wedding, then you definitely cannot solve any problem living together. My dear, don't go and take money to buy problem for your life.
Right, so that is what you find. Okay, so I was even going to ask you finally, what should she do, just to get back to you before I move, because I know looking at our time, I might not get time to come back to you on that. So your final statement on what she should do. You're saying she should call it as a blessing and move on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord, my dear, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord that you didn't sign up for this contract. Thank the Lord that you didn't spend money on the wedding. Thank the Lord. Oh, Lord, I'll go on my knees every day and thank the Lord that this ended here. Ellen White says that even if it's 1 day to the wedding, even if it's 1 hour to the wedding, and you find anything wrong with the relationship, don't do it. Because it is so much easier to stop the wedding than to get a divorce, because that is a whole lot of different thing. And with this kind of attitude, this marriage cannot last.
Right. The marriage cannot last. My sister, walk away. That's what Patience is saying. Okay, coming to you, Eric.
Okay.
You know, people are saying there's another woman, there's more to this. This cannot be just the reason. Do you think there's more to this? Do you think this is enough reason for him to say, oh, Charlie, go your way? And finally, what should she do?
Okay. I think it is the lady who is saying that there might be another lady.
Yes.
So at this point, from what the lady is feeling, her emotions and everything put together, the anger and everything, she can say anything. So if I'm not going to believe what the lady is saying, then I might look at it from a general perspective. A man to walk away when, you know, it's almost time for the wedding, and he's walking away not because of any other thing, but because her woman is clingy. It's so flimsy. You can't just walk away like that. It's not normal. But here it is. He's walked away, and it's not coming on. So that is how it is. It is never true. It could be true that there is another woman. It could also not be true. But since we don't have the facts, we will just say, I don't know. I don't actually know what to say. But it is so flimsy. It is so flimsy.
Right.
Yeah. It
doesn't hold.
You can't just. A woman would want to be with you all the time.
Right.
The best you, as I said earlier on, is for the two of you to sit down and talk your way through. Have a conversation, an honest conversation. Woman, this kind of you coming here almost all the time. It is not good for me. I don't feel good about it. So why don't we limit it? At least come here. You know, but the guy should also understand that when they marry, the woman is going to be in his face all the time. And so if you are not matured enough to, you know, leap into that arena, then I don't think you should even have anything to do with marriage.
Right.
That is the whole. That is the whole thing.
Right. Thank you so much, Joseph. Could there be other reasons why this guy is, obviously someone said, fleeing from the relationship? And finally, what should this lady do?
Okay, I just don't know what to say. But I don't think there could be a lady as, I don't think there could be a lady as how people are suggesting. This could be only a reason.
Okay.
Because people can break up relationship for trivial reasons.
Right. Oh, Joseph. Joseph is frozen.
And
the
guy is, he's actually not matured enough to get married. Emotionally, he's not so strong to get married. That is being settled. As for the lady, I think she should count it a blessing that the relationship has ended. Because it is better to call off a wedding than to marry and marry in a wrong way, which will land you into a deeper trouble someday to come.
Right.
Having said that, if indeed how she describes it is really as how she is so clingy, then she should work on it. She should get therapy and find ways and means to be able to calm down a bit in relationship. I kind of blame the man in the initial stages of the relationship because I think he saw all these things, how the lady behaved and all that. And he seems so okay and comfortable with that. And then at the tail end, you are saying you are calling off your wedding because she is too clingy. He knew it. Is there he could have talked about it that I don't like it this way, so that you iron out. That's the boundaries I talk about. If I said the boundary in my initial submission.
Yeah.
Having said that, a lot of people are also going through this turmoil and all that because of some of these trivial reasons. If you are the clingy type, you can work on it. How do you do that? It's not even as if going to the person alone is being clingy. Sometimes they even over-test you. If you don't reply, they will call you and tell you that I've tested you, haven't replied. So reply your messages. That is a sign. These people, they also forget their friends. It's also a sign. So if you're doing all this, sending emails, sending pictures, almost all the time. I mean, sometimes showing up uninvited, even when your partner is with their friends, whether it's a man or a woman, it's a sign. So what I'm saying is that you can get over it.
Right.
One of the ways of getting over it is putting your phone down sometimes.
Okay.
Put it down a bit. Don't let the phone control you. You are not the only person who has data. If you have nothing to do, watch YouTube, funny videos, you get some. Or click on Facebook and get Hope channel and watch. You get meaningful messages.
Okay.
Second one, pursue your passion. Once you pursue your passion, you don't have time and be checking on people unnecessarily. I'm not saying that checking on people is not okay.
We get
but
you.
when it is so much, people will have issue.
Right.
So pursue your own passion and stop following others' passion. And then the last one I would like to mention is that people who usually do this have this so low self-esteem that they are too emotionally attached to others, such that they think they cannot do anything on their own. My sister, my brother, you can also do certain things on your soul. Have time to build on your own self-esteem, so that when you're having the type and you see your guy, even with others, or when you haven't heard of your guy, whether a lady or a man, for some time you don't think that somehow, somewhere, someone has taken her or taken him away from you. If you're able to do this, and then you're not going to have a problem. So in all, I would say that the lady should accept the situation as how it is. Move on with her life. And if indeed what she has mentioned is actually the case, then there's a problem. She should work on it by getting a professional counselor to help her out.
Right. Thank you so much, Joseph, for that extensive take on the final question. But Benjamin, could there be another reason why this man says, I don't want to do this again? And finally, what should this girl do?
As has been mentioned by all the panelists, at this stage, we analyze the two of them very well. We're looking at the emotional maturity of the man as the future head of the family, being able to manage his wife to be, knowing that these and these things I require time myself to do them. The woman too, if she's really ready for marriage, should be matured enough to hear things and adhere to them by allowing him the reasonable space he so requires. If you think you are feeling any sense of insecurity, because as has been mentioned by Eric and Co, you feel there's another woman, there's no need to go in the first place, because if a man will cheat now, he will cheat tomorrow. So it is not really a matter of trying to cover him up so that you kind of trap him and give him all the protection so he doesn't go out. If he is bound on cheating, he will cheat anyway. So marriage cannot change him. So these are key things that we say that if, and many times when we are approaching marriage, we see the red flags and we try to work around them in funny ways. And there are things you cannot change. So what we're saying that is either the lady look at it, if she's convinced that it's because there's another woman, all the same is good. You know that this guy cannot be trusted. He doesn't want you alone. You move on. However, if you have no facts to establish this, then you must then look inner. Because the problem many of us have is that we try to point the problem to the other person without doing an introspection. It is important for her to analyze that, what am I not doing right? If he's saying the issue is being clingy, I'm not sure people who are planning marriage started dating just a month or two ago. It might have been a period. So you must have also analyzed how he sees the things you do, the comments he passes on, how often you come there unannounced, uninvited and all that. And you must also be matured enough. So we're talking about the man's emotional maturity to endure a partner to be, but the woman too must be emotionally matured enough to know that if he's upset when I go on unannounced, I must tell him when I'm coming. All these things must be done by both partners before they can really be ready for marriage. Wedding having money for wedding is not a signature for marriage. Marriage in itself requires the psychological maturity and stability of the two parties before they can move on. So they need to look at that bit before they can really consider being eligible for marriage. Great.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Just a few comments so we can go. This one is from Sethina for Arthur. She says, just because she's clingy does not mean that she can't be for keeps. However, for this thing to work, you will have to make her understand that her neediness is pushing you away. He has to protect your independence. No, he has to respect your independence, space, and a life that does not revolve around her. Be firm right from the outset or onset that you will not accept interference in your personal space. Okay, Chris Nat says, this reminds me of a popular song. This reminds me of a popular song. There's beauty all around when there's love at home. Key factor here is agape love. I believe there's no limitation for privacy as married couples. Okay. Abina Anaman says, but to the extent of calling off a wedding means something is wrong. 1, the guy doesn't love her enough and is not mature enough. 2, only play guys want to have some space. Okay. 3, guys sometimes will want to miss their ladies and may want some space. This guy has all these characteristics, and I think the lady should just keep to herself and give the guy some space. And if the guy loves her, he'll come back and call the wedding back on. Okay. However, if I were the lady, I will not consider marrying him again. Okay, so Josephine said, hey Evie, I think there's more under his sleeve other than the lady being just clingy. It might be that the guy has someone else in his life. I don't think the lady goes around the guy always. Jillian Yabo says the guy is lying. He might have seen different things and now he wants to try that. Okay, let me see. What is the next one? This one says, I think, Josephine says, I think the lady is committed too much. Yeah. And the guy is cheating on her and he sees her as clingy.
Too many assumptions.
Exactly. Dennis Asian says the guy is lying. Maybe he's seen someone else or he finds something wrong with the girl that he might not like and not just being clingy. So obviously you guys at home have very different opinions. Yeah. You all have your own thinking and assumptions. Some of you have even concluded he's a liar, he's cheating, there's another woman, he came to play her. All of you have your own ideas, and this is why the conversation is called Real Talk, because we need to have a real conversation. So hopefully the lady out there, I mean, from all indication, I don't know, someone would even say it's pre-wedding jitters. I don't know what is going on, but if after parents have spoken to him, your parents have spoken to him, he's still saying no, one thing is you should never beg someone to marry you or be with you. So if he says no, let it go. Yeah. Let it go. There's this saying that rejection can be God's protection. So you never know. Just like our panelist said, work on yourself. If this is something you think you do a lot, work on yourself, find some hobbies, pay attention to yourself, get involved in things so that you don't have a lot of spare time on your hands that you have the need to go and spend it with the one you love. And like we all said, there's nothing wrong with spending time with the one you love. Yeah, so and like also let me try and get the name. Patience said space is saying, I mean, lockdown is a great example, and apparently a lot of people found out that they didn't have a great relationship or communication skills during the lockdown. They found out that it was a huge deal and they couldn't even live in the same space with their partners. So this is obviously a big problem that is happening in our homes, in relationships, and I hope the discussion has been a fruitful one. You have taken something out. I hope we've educated someone out there. If you need to go for therapy, please consider it. Black people, we don't talk about therapy. It's important. We need to talk about issue. Or you can even use Real Talk as your own therapy session. Bring your stories here. Let us discuss and help you out, just as we've been trying to do since we started this show. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my amazing panelists. Benjamin, thank you so much. Patience, thank you and your little girl so much for spending time with us today. Yeah. Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, once again, you joined us on the show. Thank you so much for your time. And for you, my amazing amazing audience out there. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for sending your stories, your topics. Please continue to do so, because we always like to have intelligent, educative, informative conversations here to help us out there. This show is for young adults, and we represent a huge section of the population. So if we're able to help even one person out there, we are extremely, extremely grateful for that opportunity. To my amazing crew, thank you so much for your hard work. You guys are amazing. It takes a village to put a TV show together, and you guys do it effortlessly and beautifully. To my sponsor, ATL, Akosombo Textiles Limited, thank you so much for this beautiful fabric. I'll take a picture, put it on Facebook and Instagram, so you guys can go and take a look at it. I'm sure sitting there you can't see it well. When I get up and I take a picture, you see it well. Thank you so much, Benjamin. You heard it from Benjamin. He's seen me. He's in the studio with me. He says it's beautiful. So you will go out there and go and get a fabric of your choice and sew your beautiful styles, just as I do week on, week on, week on. Thank you so much for watching Real Talk. We'll be back same time next week in the studios of Hope TV. But until then, continue to enjoy the other content on this amazing channel. We have so many great content, entertaining, educative, centered on Christ. Whatever you're interested in, you find it on this amazing channel. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll come your way same time next week. My name is Evie.